All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm so excited for today. As mentioned, this is creating a spring mood tracker with Zebra. And so we have a lot of fun supplies to use, all of which you can get at Michael's stores. So why don't we just go ahead and get started? We'll go to the overhead. I'm going to turn on my lights and I'll show you all the supplies we'll need and then just jump into it. Remember, you can ask questions at any time and we'll try to answer them. All right, so just getting the light set up so you can see. All right, so as a reminder, we do have this page ideas for your planner. It was a PDF. I think they're linking it down below so that in the chat, so that if you don't have it, you can grab it. But it has a lot of other page ideas. So today we're creating a mood tracker, but everything that we create, you can use for other things as well. So you can use these same doodles and decorations for anything else. And all of these, I've found useful pages in my own planner. So I'm just going to move this aside so we can get started and go over all the supplies that we're going to be using today. So first of all, I'm sure you guys are all probably fairly knowledgeable about MILDLINERs, but I am going to be using these MILDLINERs today, 5 of them. You can use as many as you want and whichever colors you want. I like to have 5 moods that I track. These are ones that I like to track every month and focus on how I'm feeling throughout the month, just to focus in on like whether it was a really good day or is a harder day. So maybe I need to focus in on self-care a little bit more or things like that. The other tools we'll need are these brush pens. They're beautiful. I use these for the lettering at the top of the page. They're so fun. Then the other Zebra product you'll need today is any black pen, but I love the Zebra Sarasa Dry X20 because it does not smear when you color it in with MILDLINERs over it later in the month. So the other tools that I use, you don't need to, but I use because sometimes I make mistakes, is a pencil to start it out and an eraser. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. At the top, we are going to, you can use any paper, by the way. I use Happy Planner, so I am using some Happy Planner filler paper. You could use printer paper, you could use a dot grid notebook, you can use anything. But at the top of the page, we are going to write mood tracker. And you could put the month on it if you want to. So this could be creating for April, so you could put April mood tracker. But we'll go ahead and get started. I always start with doing the inside of the letters, but I like to decorate it. So there are a couple of tips for brush lettering that make it just stand out a little more. And so see how I do that there. I'll show you what I do, and then we'll do the tracker part. So next up, we've done this. It looks pretty good, but the way you make it pop just a little bit more is to outline it and add a shadow. And so all I'm doing is just drawing around it. And you do not need it to be perfect. I find the imperfections, like you can see there's a little bit of white space there and things like that. The imperfections make it just a little bit more unique. And I think that always looks really fun. All right, and you can see I just wrote these, like you go like that, there's no smearing. So I love these X20 pens because of that. All right, so what is a mood tracker exactly? We track our moods and we so the moods that I use, for instance, are excited, happy, okay, sad, and overwhelmed. You can choose any moods that you want. Here, I'm gonna go just on the right side and add a little shadow with the gray pen. But I track 5 moods. You can track 3, you can track 7, whatever you want. And for me, it's checking in on how I'm doing and if I need to focus on my own self-care a little bit more or not in the current state that I'm in. And I find that super helpful. But again, you can use this for exercise trackers or food trackers, step trackers, whatever you want. So you can see how that just pops a little bit more than it did with just the red on it. All right, so now we're gonna add in the tracker word. And I'm gonna try to make space because we're a little bit short on space here. So one fun thing I like to do with lettering is have script and just regular fonts here so that it can kind of look unique and different and add a little bit of visual interest. And the other thing I like to do is sometimes switch up uppercase and lowercase. Not all the time, but sometimes it can be fun to do. All right. So we'll just do the same thing on this one as well. And then we'll get into how we set up the tracking section. And then the doodles that we'll be doing today are all spring themed. We're going to do florals, but you can also just choose whatever themes you want. So you can do this every month and you can choose seasonal themes, or you can just do simple things like you could just do a square box. That would make it really quick to set up. And if you're ever wondering how to do certain doodles, there are some tutorials on how to doodle. That's where I've looked up and learned a lot of doodles that I do in my planner. Okay, so we are almost done with this, and we'll put the gray around it as well. So again, this gray is just going on this right-hand side to add a little bit of a shadow. I just think it makes it pop a little bit more. Like, you totally do not need to do that, but I personally like the way that it looks. And again, imperfection really adds to it, I think. It just, everything in your planner is so personalized, and it's really for us to use. So the perfection isn't as important because we want to get use out of it. So now mood tracker setup time. So I do 5 moods, as I mentioned. You can do however many you want, but if I was doing 5 or 6, I'd have enough room to make them all across one spot. So I'm going to start in the middle to try to center it a little bit. So I just create a box like this. And since I'm using dot grid, I'm going to use that to space it out and create 2 boxes on each side. You could use a ruler for this to keep it really, really straight. But I'm just doing it, you know, by looking at it, and again, that imperfection thing. All right. So then we create a couple of lines underneath it where you can write in the words, the moods that you are choosing to track, or the things that you are choosing to track. If this is a step tracker, you could write in 0 to 4,000, 4,000 to 6,000, 6,000 to 8,000, and then you'd each day fill in how many steps you made. You know, so you could use this for anything. Then we're going to use these colors. Let's see. Let's go in this order, just because, and since it's kind of themed for spring, I chose colors that we might find on flowers. But again, you can choose the MILDLINER colors that you like best. Okay, so go ahead and fill in any colors you love, and then every day you will fill out the doodle that we're going to draw below with the color that corresponds to how you're feeling that day. So for instance, I'll write in my moods here, but you can think about it and choose your own moods to put here. You don't need to copy mine, of course, just do whatever you want. So I would write excited, happy, okay, sad, and overwhelmed. Those would be the ones that I track. And of course, I'm going to want to see more of these throughout the month than these. And if I start seeing these, then I'm going to focus more on self-care. So that's my cue. All right. So we can go ahead and do some doodles. So this is the part that I use a pencil for. I'm just using a standard drawing pencil. You can get any kind you prefer, mechanical pencil, drawing pencil. You can get all of them at Michael's. And this is the part that I use to make sure that I line things up well, because if you just start drawing flowers, you might end up with like 20 flowers and run out of space and then not have enough for the month. All right, so I just draw light little circles to make sure that for April, I would have 30 spaces for 30 days. So I will erase these circles later, but I am just making sure that I am not going to run out of room. And my flowers are all going to be slightly different sized and shaped. We're going to do, I think, 7 different flower doodles that we're going to work on. But then I'll repeat them a number of times on the page. So I'm doing a line of 5, then a line of 4, and then another line of 5. I counted this out earlier to make sure that we had the right spacing for this. Okay, so another line of 4 circles. And then we are going to do another line of 5. And this is where it starts getting tricky. Okay, then a line of 4, and then lastly a line of 3, or however you can fit it in. So that should be 30. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 19, 20, 21. Yep, okay, so 30. So we're gonna do a couple of different doodles. You can freehand it using a pen if you're feeling brave. I like to use pencil to start it out because I am not a doodler or artist by trade, and it feels better to me to sketch it out and then ink it after that. So we are going to do, as I said, 7 different doodles. So I will show you them and walk you through them, and then you can choose to follow along and repeat the flowers like I do, or you can just pick your favorite couple and fill them out throughout the whole page, whatever you'd like. All right, so this first flower I thought was kind of fun. It's kind of like a star. So I'm just doing it's kind of like a starfish actually. So this part is going to be all filled in when we color it in. So that's like the center of the flower, and then we just follow it like this. So that one is the most unusual one that I picked to do today, but I do kind of love it. Then the next is a simple one, kind of like a daisy, where I do a round center, and I'm just going to do long little petals and just go all the way around. Now, a tip as you're drawing it, if you're having trouble making the shape a different way, what I like to do is rotate the page so that I am just drawing it the same way every time and the paper's moving. It makes it.
Sorry to interrupt. Some people in the chat are saying that it's a little far away. If you could zoom in a little bit more into the page.
Yes, certainly we can.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Is that better?
I think so.
Okay. All right, so there are the first 2 florals. And once we've drawn all 7, I'll show you how I do them in pen and then erase. And then you can choose which ones to continue doing throughout the page. Because for your mood tracker, you may want just one flower repeated. You may want all 7. You may want somewhere in the middle. Okay, so the next one has a little bit more detail. I thought it was kind of fun, but it's got a big center, and we're going to be adding just some dots. I'm just adding them in pencil right now, so you really can't see them, but in the pen, you will. And then this one's going to have 5 or 6 big rounded petals. All right. And then this is going to have just a little bit of like marks over the petals, just adding a little bit of detail in the flower. I'm adding 2 little curved lines on each one. No real rhyme or reason where or why I'm putting them down where they are, just what looks nice to me. All right, the next one is going to have like a medium-sized center. And instead of rounded petals, we're going to have it come to a point. So like that. And I'm going to want, again, 5 or 6 petals on this inner row of petals. And then we're going to have a back row of petals as well. And again, this part, if you're doing it in pencil especially, does not need to be perfect because you're going to put pen over it and you can kind of adjust where the lines are. So then I'm going to do a back layer just behind them, kind of sticking out between each front petal. And again, these ones, I'm going to create just a little line or 2 to add some dimension to each of these flowers. All right, this next one is a fun one. It's got a little more detail and it's definitely the least exact one. So all of the florals are going to look different when you create it from mine, and every single one I create on the page is going to look a little different. So tiny little center, and then we're just going to do kind of like a squiggle here and come around and do another little squiggle, and then start, let's see if I can show you. You're going to start right up here on the side and start doing layers out. So it's kind of like a squiggly rose maybe or something like that. And you're just going to make it as big as you want, just continuing to add these little layers. And I think that's probably pretty good for this one. When you're coloring it in, you could even, with whatever color you choose, do 1 layer on the inner and then add 2 layers of ink on the next one to make like dimension to the flower. That would be really cool to see. Okay, we have 2 flower doodles left, and then I'll show you how easy it is to put them into ink, and then we'll continue making the full mood tracker. So this one is kind of fun and abstract. So these petals are going to be really interesting, like kind of like outward triangles, but really rounded on the edges. And we're going to add some fun details. So I am going over these ones twice with my pencil just to make sure I get the shape that I want. Okay. So then we're going to add a little rounded shape in the middle, kind of like this shape. So some of the flowers like these, if I'm feeling more than one mood, I'll use 2 different colors to color it in. And so I can see at a glance, like really how I'm feeling. Because, you know, you could totally be excited and happy at the same time, or happy but overwhelmed, you know, all sorts of different things. So you can definitely use more than one color to fill in your mood tracker. So I just added these little lines for a little more definition. kind of like these lines over here. They just add a little something. All right, the last flower we're gonna do is really, really simple. It's just a circle, and then we're not gonna connect the petal to the flower. We're just gonna go around the outside with, again, 5 or 6 bumps where the petals would be. So those are all the flowers we're doing. So what I would do at this point is, let's just add in some of the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this corresponds to the date. So you would use this the first of the month, the second of the month, and that's when you'd be coloring them in. And you can put the numbers wherever you want, as long as you can tell which flower they go with. All right, so then let's bring in the pen. Again, this is the Zebra Sarasa Dry X20. I love this one for all things where I want to erase over it or color in on top of it. So I am just following the pen mark, and the inner part of this one, if you're doing the star-shaped one, I just color that all the way in with the black pen. So as you can see, this way it's really easy to know exactly what I'm drawing with the black pen, and it's going to end up looking really nice. And I'm not going exactly over where the pencil lines are because it's hard to recreate it perfectly, but it still ends up having kind of the correct shape that I'm going for. All right, and so just as an example, we can erase these. And you can see there's like no smearing going on, and these pencil lines are going away. As I erase though, the table is shaking a little, so sorry if it's a little shaky for the moment. But as you can see, that looks pretty dang good, and there's no streaking or anything. So it looks like there was a question about the pen colors, and there's an answer in the chat that the Sarasa Dry X20 comes in, I think it said 12 or 14 colors. Let's see, 14 colors. So you can definitely use this in more than just the black ink. All right, so now you can see like all the little details starting to come out. I think it just adds a lot to these florals, and it just makes it really fun to fill out when you have all these little details. You certainly don't need to add them, but I think it's a fun way to add a little bit as a non-artist. Like, I learned how to do these doodles specifically, and I'm always looking for doodle ideas. But I wouldn't say that I'm an artist, perhaps. So that means that everyone can do this as well, because you just use a little pencil and then know kind of where your lines are. And then if you just follow over the lines, it runs really smoothly, especially when you have a good pen. Okay, let's see. So as we do this, I am going to continue after we do these ones in the black ink. I am going to continue drawing the rest of the set so you can see me do each one again in case you need it, and I can continue talking through it for sure. But if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer those as I do it too, because I have kind of explained the process a little bit. So really I can do either one. So if there are questions, let us know and I'll try to get to them. But as I'm doing this here, you can see I am not over the pencil lines hardly at all, but it still looks really cool. So it just gave me a starting place for this. So let us know in the comments too, which of these florals is your favorite? Because I tried to choose a variety. So there were some more simplistic ones, some with a little more detail. I'm always very curious to see what people gravitate towards. All right, I see a number 4. I like that one too. I mean, I like all of them because I did choose them, but I do like number 4 a lot. 3 and 4, very cool. Okay, so I need to add the numbers here. And we can go ahead and erase these ones. All right, so I have been using mood trackers for probably about 2 years. So I've done all sorts of different ways of doing it. You can also do it where if you don't have time to doodle, where you just create boxes like this and put numbers next to it. You can also create a grid and kind of make it shaped like a month calendar. And those all work really well. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and draw out these other florals now. Could you use stamps of flowers? Yes, you could. You could easily do some stamps, and that would be a very quick but decorative way to set up your mood tracker. And you can get stamps at Michael's as well. I know I've done that before. I love using stamps in my planner. All right, so yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and draw these florals again. But as I mentioned, you can draw all the florals, or you can just pick the ones that you love the most and repeat those over and over. Okay, I think we can fit one more petal here. All right. So we're just gonna keep going. I think we can just go in order again and just follow the same thing because they're not lined up exactly. So I'll just keep doing that for simplicity so that I know what order to draw them in. Okay. So again, some little details. And another way to make this just a little more unique as you do it is each of these flowers doing slightly different sizes. So this one I might make a little smaller, and then another I might make a little bigger. Let's see. What other zebra products do you recommend using for mood trackers? Yeah, so another way to do it is if you want to do a lot of doodling with multiple colors that then you could fill in later. I really like, let's see, I'm looking at my pen holder. I love the click art pens. They're really great for doodling and stuff as well, especially if you want multiple colors while you're doing these outlines. So that would be my recommendation there. Okay, this one didn't end up right. So I'm gonna erase and try to line that one up more evenly. So that's another great reason to use pencil first so that I can just fix things as they happen. So I've made this smaller than that one. And then just little lines again. All right. And then the little rose-like one, let's make this one a little bigger this time. So I'm going to do more layers. But again, it's just squiggly lines everywhere. Let's see, one more layer to make it bigger. So this one looks like it has a lot of details, but you can see how fast the squiggly lines just came together. So it's actually one of the easier ones to draw. Another way to change it up between the florals as you're making them on the page is to have different numbers of petals. So this one had 5, this one's going to have 4, and so they'll still look slightly different. So you can just have like a unique look throughout your whole page. Another way to do it with your mood trackers, the complete opposite way, is to pick one design and try to make them as even as possible and have them go across the full page. That can be really fun as well. And then lastly, another way to set up your mood tracker is if you were to add stems and stuff, you could just make a garden, and instead of laying them out in a grid like this, you just have it in one beautiful like image picture that you're creating. All right, so here is the last of these ones again. And this time I added one extra little bump on it. And we'll just go through, and I'm going to sketch out all of them right now so that I can have that done. Unless, let me look at timing. Yeah, I think I have time to sketch them out before we fill them in. But as you're using this, again, as I mentioned, you fill it out day by day. I sometimes fill it out the next morning because I use multiple pages of trackers. I have a step tracker and a sleep tracker. That one's really important for me. And so I fill all of them out the next day so that I know exactly how much sleep I got and things like that. I also find that filling out the mood tracker the next morning is sometimes better because at night you're just feeling whatever you felt at night versus looking at the day as a whole. So what I fill out might be a little different based on that. Okay, this one now, let's make a small one of these to just change it up. And I'm going to add one extra petal to this one to make it a little different. All right. And then this one, we're going to make it have 4 front petals, again, to make it look a little different. Doing it like this, where it's top and bottom, makes it really easy to line them up. But then you only have 4 petals. So there's that. Okay, and then just little lines. All right. Next up is our little rose again. And squiggle lines can move really, really, really quickly. So this one's really nice to set up. Let's do a tiny one there. And then this little abstract one again. So what I like to do is make multiple pages for all the things that I'm tracking and have the theme the same for the whole month. So I might use these same florals as like border decor for my sleep tracker, or for my habit tracker, make a little garden using these florals, and then having a little calendar underneath it to check off my habits. So it just makes, a nice section in your planner to all have one theme, or in your bullet journal, or whatever you use. Okay, let's see. We are going on to this one. So yeah, every month has a different theme. This month could be spring, of course. for April. It could be spring, could be, you know, puddles and rain boots and things like that. June would be a good one for like beach umbrellas and various summery things. And of course, you know, Halloween for October, Thanksgiving. You can do all the seasonal, but you could also choose like things that you love, like coffee or books or sports if you're especially into sports, or, you know, whatever. All right, so that one we need the little details on. There might be a library month. If anybody knows which month that is, let us know in the comments. All right, we are almost done with these doodles, and then we will have to fill them in. Let me know if you want me to show you how one looks kind of filled in. I can certainly do that, even though it's not the first of the month. I can color one in, but I definitely don't need to because it's not the first of the month, but I can show you. All right, so that one I did 6 petals on the front. So that one's a little bit more detailed because there's just so much more in there. All right, let's make a kind of rosy, wiggly one with bigger petals. So they're going to be fewer petals on this one. All right. Let's make another one of these with 4 of them. Just trying to give it some visual interest and differences throughout the page. And if you want, you can try to freehand it with your pen. I just usually don't do that because then I end up making a mistake. But you totally can. And then lastly, we will do one of these again. Okay, and we'll write in some numbers just around it. You can write them anywhere. I just like to write them somewhere near it. But I put it in different places throughout the page because I think it adds a little bit of interest to the page. Oh, skipped a flower. We will. You guys probably saw that. Okay, this is the good thing we have erasers for. What was I just saying about if I don't use pencil, I make a mistake? All right. So now we can fill it all in and have our mood trackers ready to go. So yeah, someone's asked about stamps. You could also do like a design that you create and use your zebra pens to doodle on like label paper so that you can do one doodle over and over again at a time, so that you're being really, I don't know, it just, you use it over and over so that you can perfect it, and then you cut them up and put them in a pattern like stickers down on the page. So that would work really well as well. course, you could also use stickers, but that would be hard to find ones that you can color in all the way, and that would fit your theme perfectly. It's easier to do some doodles. But if you use stickers, you could still use your mild liners to fill them in. Okay. These are gonna be so cute. So let's see. I think next, I would love to try that garden idea. I hadn't thought of that until I was here with you guys, of drawing it like a garden with 30 flowers. And so you have the leaves and everything in there too. You could add in the sky and the sun and some butterflies or something and color everything else in, and then just color in the flowers day by day. That could be really fun and pretty. Alrighty. While we do this, or an ocean of 30 fish. That would be really cute too. You could do a sky filled with stars or planets. Now getting on the ideas train. You could do for like Thanksgiving or another food-based thing, you could do like a table with all the doodles of the various meals and cutlery and things out. So I used these kind of spring pink and reds and oranges. Let me know what colors you guys chose. I'm interested. My favorite color, the one that I always have to replace, is the gold. Do I have one sitting here? I don't. It's up in my planner bag because I use it literally like every day. Um, I definitely have gone through 2 or 3 of those, while all these other ones I still have and haven't run out of yet. Okay. Oh yeah, this is the tiny one that I made. There are lots of little details in here. So I do feel like on this page, I made these ones larger and these ones smaller. As you can see, I started running out of space a little bit. A way you can get around that, I think it still looks fine and it will serve its purpose and it'll be beautiful. But a way you can get around that is to use a ruler and to count out how many rows you'll need, and just using your pencil, make some marks on the side of the page to mark out where you need to keep the flowers within like each line, so that you can have it be perfectly even if that's what you want. Oh, another way I love to do a mood tracker is get something circular. If you have a circular stencil, that's great. If not, you can use a cup or something like that, and you put it down and make a circle, and find a slightly bigger cup and make another circle and draw the lines around it. So you have 30 or 31 spaces in there, and then you draw a picture in the middle. You can color in the picture immediately, and then you color in each box for your mood tracker day by day. So that's another really fun way to get creative with mood trackers. See, okay, here's where I started messing up all the numbers. Let me just write those in before so I don't mess them up again. Okay. Oh, the dots. Almost forgot the dots, you guys. All right, so this one is the tiny detailed flower with so many petals. So you can see how they look so different even between these, just with the number of petals that you choose. So you can play with that and pick your favorite number of petals or keep switching it up like I have. Either one really works. You know, I'm really liking these roses right now. They're a lot of fun. I don't know if they're roses or not, squiggly flowers. Um, they remind me of roses, but who knows? All right, and this one, I think I forgot a little detail. Yeah, the little lines. Didn't put those in pencil. Okay. The squiggly ones remind you of carnations. Yes, that could be. That's a good one. Alrighty. So I will erase all of this so you can see what it looks like fully, because seeing it without all the pencil marks gives it a different feel. Okay. And again, with these mood trackers, you can make them as complex or as simple as you want. So this one did take, what, a good 45 minutes to put together. You could make it even more complicated with a huge scene that would be beautiful, but it would take longer. You could make it really simplistic where it would take only 5 or 10 minutes to set up. Whatever kind of timing you have and whatever your desired level of creativity is. I personally like it in about this time frame because I do have 2 young kids, so it's easier to fit in things like this in little bits of time. But I definitely have a need to get that creativity going and just use that part of my brain. All right, so I suppose I will show you on one of the florals how I might fill it in, a couple florals. Because I have a couple different ideas for that. So, for instance, let's use number 4 and 5. So let's say I was on number 5. Let's say it was an okay day, but I wanted it to look really, really beautiful on it, and not just one color all the way. I'm going to color in all of these. And then on the outer ones, do another layer so you can see there are different colors of orange. Now this does, if you're doing this, this does require thicker paper. So you need to make sure your filler paper for your planner, your dot grid notebook has a nice thick paper to prevent any bleed through when you're putting down so much ink on the paper. If you use regular computer paper, it'll probably be a little thinner and may bleed through the back. All right, and then this one thing you can do if you want to is just color in yellow ahead of time on all the flower centers if you want to, or whatever color you prefer. But then let's say I was feeling multiple things that day, I could color in like the front one with one color, and then the back one with the other color. And then it just, you're using it for all the moods you have. And again, you can have as many moods as you need. You could have 3, you could have 10, whatever you want. Let me pull this up so you can see the full finished result. And again, these are all the colors I use. Let's see. I'll just tell you all the colors so you know in case you're looking for these specific ones. This one's fuchsia. This one is magenta. This one's coral pink, red, and apricot. So this one is also the red and then gray. So in case you're looking for those specific colors. So yeah, that is the finished result. We have a couple more minutes. We can switch over to the other view if we want and chat if anyone has any questions. I'll go ahead and turn off this overhead lighting so it's not glaring at you. All right. What weight paper do you use for your planner? That's a great question. When I'm using add-ins that I'm printing myself or creating myself with printer paper, I like to use a 32-pound weight paper. But most of the filler paper that you buy from Michael's or wherever will be probably a pretty good weight. So if you buy just Happy Planner filler paper or something like that, it will be a nice weight similar to 32-pound. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed that class. What do you like about the Happy Planner? My favorite thing about Happy Planner, let me just grab one of them, is that I can pull the pages in and out and move them around. So I can add in the mood trackers and just stick it into the planner and put it wherever I want. So what I do is called Franken planning, and I put it all over the place with grabbing 2 or 3 different planners, a bunch of different pages that I add in, both trackers as well as little one-off pages that I want to have in my planner in the long term, like affirmations or reminders to myself. One new one would be like adding in some reminders about kids, you know, about certain things that we're doing every single day, routines that we're trying to implement as the kids get older, you know, things like that. So I can add in every page wherever I need it in the planner. Any other questions? It's been fun hanging out with you all today. Oh, good, Heather. I'm glad you're set for April now. How do I organize my mild liners? I have, let me turn that a little bit. I have all my pens. Let me just move this out of the way. I have all my, it's still in the way, but I have all my pens in here. So I have all my different things, my clicker, my brush pens, and everything in that. That is from the Dream Box, the Dream Cart, Create Room Co, I think is the company name. And this is just a little organizer that they have. Oh yeah, someone did say Happy Planner has a punch you can use for any paper. Yeah, so I do a lot of printing and using printables in my planner, or making my own pages using printer paper, because that paper is really nice. So you can cut it using a paper cutter and then a Happy Planner punch. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I almost feel like an artist too. I love looking for doodle tutorials and trying new things. I always try a bunch of stuff and then have a new theme every month. So I'm learning, you know, a new way to doodle or create art. And again, YouTube, the Michaels YouTube has tons of tutorials and other places as well. Well, that seems like there aren't really many more questions. So thank you so much for joining today. Remember, you can go back and look at this on YouTube. If you need a reminder of any of it, it'll be up on Monday, I believe they said.